Out of
No
like
more.
everything you do, what's the one thing you want people to know you for? Or do you want people to know about everything you do and be like, oh, that's KB, like the jack of all cars or a jack of all trades? Or like, do you have one that you're like, yeah, that's me?
Um, honestly, just like I want people to know me more so for like my personality that
Right.
people can do like example like spicy work and
Mm-hmm.
also just have a normal life.
Right.
Because a lot of people have this weird connection that sex workers are dumb. And I'm like,
Yeah.
first off, they are the
Mhm.
smartest people I have ever met because
Right.
they have to market themselves and business themselves. And like
Mm-hmm.
I said, um just like they are super duper smart because they
Mm-hmm.
have to like play this minefield game constantly because that market is so saturated that you have to really stand out and play
Right.
your cards right. And it's just it's crazy. And literally the people some of my friends that are sex workers literally are nurses, are
Right.
studying to be doctors, that are literally like accountants for like big
Mm-hmm.
like literally like it's just people are so weirdly like just have that association. And I know it's because of media and just like Hollywood and stuff like that, and that's really
Right.
what it is because most of us are super duper smart. We just really are in tune with our sexuality and we're
Mm-hmm.
comfortable with doing that sort of stuff, so why not make the money and have some
Right.
fun
Why
with
not
it?
do it? Why not do it? Yeah, that's so fair. I feel like having people know you for your personality and as like a whole is honestly the best because that's how you build like a really loyal audience rather than like, oh, you do sex work, so I'm only gonna be here for sex work. And some people are like
That
that.
yeah,
But like,
that's what I struggle with a lot.
right, right. Especially because sex work is sometimes more digestible for people. Like there's a bigger audience that will
Yeah,
like find you because there's just a bigger audience interested in like sex work
yeah,
rather than VTubing. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And that's why, yeah, doing
Right.
the safer work stuff, that's what I wanted to the VTubing. That's exactly
Mm-hmm.
why I wanted to do it, was so I could like literally be like, "Hey, I do more than just that." You
Right.
know? I'm pretty cool. I'm pretty
Yeah.
hip.
You are pretty cool. Yeah. And people should also know that. I think it's honestly really interesting how a lot of people who do sex work also have these kind of peeks into their lives. Not every sex worker does this, but like I see it a lot in VTubing where like they do sex work, but they also have like a safer work VTubing persona, whether or not that's shared with like their not safer work stuff too. But I think it's really helpful for sex workers and the image of sex workers to have that safer work image because then people can humanize sex workers in general
Yeah.
rather
Mhm.
than just being like, oh, you do sex work, so like you're dumb, like we talked about, or like you're
Yeah.
only horny, or like your only use is like, sex.
Like I do IRL content for that spicy stuff too, just cuz I'm comfortable with that, like doing that sort of stuff. And hey, if I can get extra money, why not? There are people that definitely, other VTubers that aren't comfortable with that.
Right.
But they're still sex workers. They just like use their
Right.
model as their
Mm-hmm.
body. And that's how
Exactly.
they do. It's the same thing. I hate there's an argument that goes on where it's like, are they true sex workers? I'm like, yes. Like just because they don't show their body doesn't mean they're not
Right.
making content of
And are
that
they,
caliber.
is that like a view more like the viewers who believe in that? Is it like the audience that is like, oh,
No,
you're,
it,
it's
it's yeah, it's the other talents. It's
right.
the people that aren't VTubers that say
Right.
that. That's all the only time I hear it, where it's like people that aren't VTubers say it. I'm like, all right,
Yeah. Shush. I love that because that's what they should do. You know what I mean? Especially because I do understand it is literal competition, but at the same time, it's like there should be an expectation of professionalism. And it's like, why do you have to knock other people,
yeah,
just because it's
yeah.
different? But I feel like that happens with VTubing like all the time anyways. But yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah, in the sex work scene, oh my god, everyone,
yeah.
you don't know who's your friend and who's not. Like I'm
Right.
serious, just in the way of, I seriously just want friends because I'm at
Right.
a point where it's like, I have people that come to me because they think they can like sample use me as a stepping stone, but I can immediately, I
You
can,
smell it.
I
Yeah.
immediately, I'm like, big bear in the big blue house. I smell you.
Right, right.
I can smell when you're trying to use me for that. And
I
I'm like, I don't like that.
I definitely think there is like, I don't know what it is, but I totally relate to that where you're just like, oh, you definitely get an eye for it. Maybe
Yeah.
when you start out, it's not as clear, but as you like work in the space more and more, you're like, I know. I know what you are.
Yeah, it's like I know your game. I know your game.
Right,
I can tell.
right.
But it is so in the sex work side, it's like, yeah, you really don't know who's your friend and who's using you for
Right.
like this and that, which sucks because literally I only have a few like close friends that also
Mhm.
do like sex work alongside me that I could really trust and be like, yeah, like these people like went to my wedding. And like, you know, like I
Yeah.
trust them.
Mhm.
But it just sucks that I literally can't be like, hey, you want to be friends? And like
Right.
some people literally take it as, ew, no. I'm like,
What did
why?
I
What did I
do?
do? No, it's my competition. That's like going up from a Papa John's worker going to a Domino's and being like, let's be
That's
friends.
crazy.
I'm like, that is nowhere
Like,
the
can it be
same
separate?
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're just a pizza to take a bite of, KB. Like that is like a crazy analogy. That's wild. That is really, yeah, I feel like it can be separate. I mean, even with like VTubing or any creative or professional field, how sad is it to not have friends? You know, even like colleagues. And you don't have to be buddy buddy with everyone, but a level of friendliness is pretty important for mental health. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to feel like you're out against everyone and everyone's against you.
Yeah, it's like a kind of, you're acting like you have like schizophrenia without, like, you may not have schizophrenia, where you're just like constantly worried about this and
Right.
that and this and that. I'm
The
like,
level of
nobody's out to get you.
paranoia.
Yeah, nobody's out to get you. Like,
Mhm.
let's calm down. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to like siphon your fans. I don't want to siphon all like
Right.
I got my bag in my corner. Like, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good over. I literally just like you.
Right. And
But obviously now I don't like you.
well, the other thing too is it's unfortunate because some people are like that, where they're like, oh, if I show up, I can easily take like their fan base, which is also really gross. But that's like why that level of fear exists in creative fields anyways, even though it's not like one collab is going to make people go like, oh my God, I have to go see what's happening over there. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not how it works. How do you go about like mental health and sex work?
I would definitely say that this is like a super duper good question because I love answering it when people like ask me, because people don't really understand how much it is like a thing, like when it comes to amongst other sex workers, because yeah, you're making your entire income your body. Your image.
Right.
You're this, you're that, or your character's body or whatever, you know, like it is so, it's like a model, you know, like a model, like who's like fashion model, like where they have to be a size 0 or even probably less to be able to keep getting work, because that's all the fashion industry wants. And it's the same pressures where it's just like, I feel bad, you know, when I have, you know, like a glutton day at times where it's just like, you know, I'm not saying like I'd eat like 5 pizzas or something, but I'm saying like maybe a whole bag of Tostitos chips or something like that, like one day where it's like everyone has done that at one time, you know, like everybody's
Me
done
all
that.
the time.
Yeah, everyone does that. So it's just like, yeah, and then I feel horrible about it because I'm like, oh God, I'm not gonna look good for the next, you know, like video or the next photo set or this or that or so and so. And so it's a lot of mental stress because, especially me, this kind of delves into, I did a previous interview about this for plus size creators, and I'm definitely a plus size creator. I'm not like a big plus size creator. Like I'm definitely like, you know, like I've said this like out loud, you know, that I'm chubbier. I'm like a chubbier creator, and I know that for a fact, and that's perfectly fine with me. But my body type isn't the norm when it comes to this type of work. So it kind of sucks because like I definitely get those people that are like, oh, I love, you know, your body type, you're different, you're this, you're that. it's great. I see like diversity, this and that. And I
Mm-hmm.
love those people. But then there's the people that are like, ew, like you're chubby and you don't like have, you know, like bazonka donker, tatas. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, I don't know. Like, my bad.
Yeah, let me fix that real quick. Just 1 second. You go off screen and come back, which is like the hugest milkers ever. I think
Yeah,
it's absolutely crazy because it's like no one's forcing you to watch or engage, but you still choose to. You know what I mean? And those are people who will literally pay and still criticize.
yes, and that's the thing. People will go like, "Oh, those people aren't worth your time. They're not paying you anything." And I literally have to stop them. I'm like, "No,
They
the people
are.
that are the worst are the payers at times, where they
Yeah.
literally will do it just to like feel this weird power dynamic. Like I don't know
Right.
what it is, where it's just like they feel like they have a more of a say now
Right.
because they gave you a sub,
More
And
money. Right.
I'm like, no, just because you gave me like a $30 sub does not mean you get to just like bully me.
Right. And say
Like,
whatever you want. Like that's definitely not how that works. It's not like you can ban them.
no, yeah, because then there's this weird dichotomy where it's like,
Right.
what do I do?
Right.
Do I ban? No, because like I do like the money, but at the same time,
Right.
I have to also know when to put down my boundaries because then it
Exactly.
comes the other side of things when the people that aren't mean but are too nice, where it's like, uh-oh,
Mm.
this person, yeah, parasocialism.
Has it ever gotten really bad for you? Like
Yes,
what has that been like?
so bad at times. Where
Really?
it's yes, like it is. Like I've had people ask me on IRL dates before, like literally, and they're like, "Oh, I'll fly you out here. Like I'll get you here. I'll do this. I'll do that." I'm like, "You don't even know my real name.
No.
Like, like, hello."